This week's episode of Do Go On is brought to you by 3 shows at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. All of our shows.
Yay!
Dave Hughes, Peter Hellier, Judith Lucy.
We are doing 4 live podcasts at the European Beer Cafe on Saturday afternoons during the Comedy Festival, and the Patreon pre-sale is currently on. So if you're a Patreon supporter, you can buy tickets now through Patreon. And everyone else, though, will be on sale next week for everyone else. We'll be doing season passes again. We get to basically come to 4 shows for the price of 3, all that kind of stuff. But if you want to buy tickets right now, how about you buy tickets to Jess and Matt's stand-up shows?
Yeah, you should do that. Just to clarify, we're not doing a show together. We've learned our lesson.
Yeah.
That's right. 2 solo 1-hour shows instead.
We will not be doing
Jess,
that.
let's plug each other's shows.
Okay.
So I'll pitch yours,
All right.
and then you can pitch mine. So
Sounds
Jess, one of the best up-and-coming comedians in the country. This is her debut solo show. It's called Almost. I was going to pronounce it Almost. But I think Jess is actually pronouncing it the traditional Almost way. And it is on at 6 p.m. at the Greek Centre.
Yes.
A great venue, a great time to be had. And what a perfect time so you can go out, see a show, and then maybe get some dinner afterwards. Or see another show, perhaps, Jess. What do you think?
Yes, I think you could see another show afterwards.
Or go straight to bed.
Go home, get an early night. It's on at 6. You can be home by like 7:30, depending on where you live.
Yeah, but I mean,
have an average time dinner and go to bed.
I mean, if you live at the venue, you could be home at 7:01.
You can watch some TV. Anyway, but if you're really desperate, you could also go. It's so unfair because you were very nice. You can go and see Matt Stewart's show. I don't know what it's called. Something dry.
Monkey House.
Monkey House. You can see Matt Stewart in Monkey House.
I've gone wet this year.
You're at the Vic Hotel this
Vic
year. Aren't you?
Hotel.
What time? You don't even know.
I'm going to say 7 or 7:15.
Yeah, it was something around there, I think.
Yeah. Well, maybe
I was
they
so
can't see
impressed
both.
you remembered 6 p.m. and the Greeks. I'm really proud of you.
You can
for
see
that.
Matt showing me home by 8:15.
And do you know what's so great about that? Is like you can hop into bed and like watch TV or something. You can watch an episode of something. You can still be home at a reasonable time. I'm excited to be able to leave immediately after my show and live a normal life.
Well, let me just tell you, if you come to our podcast on Saturday afternoons, you could be in bed by 3:15 in the afternoon. How good is that?
The dream! Oh, man. Think of the amount of episodes you could watch of your chosen TV show.
So just to recap, Matt and Jess's shows are on sale right now. They're doing 3.5 weeks, 22 nights, so get involved with that. They'd love to see you there.
Go to comedyfestival.com.au and then you just search our names.
Yep.
Or you go to mattstewartcomedy.com or jessperkins.com.
Yep. .au.
And our show, Do Go On, the podcast you're about to hear, 4 podcasts will be on sale next week. So hang out for that, unless you're a Patreon supporter.
Genuinely my favourite time of year. Probably,
it's like Christmas.
It's like Christmas. Actually, Christmas is also my favourite time of year because that is also like Christmas. But I do love the Melbourne International Comedy Festival so much. Hopefully, again, we'll see people from all around Australia and the world like we normally do, and that is real weird and cool.
So cool.
But real weird.
Weird cool.
Yeah. We're like, whoa, weird. Do you know what I mean? We're not like, weird. But then in time, we're like, well, that's pretty cool. It's like, whoa, cool. And then later we go, bit weird. You know?
It's not like Jess is auditioning for the voiceover. I'll give you 5 different ways. Tell me your favourite. All right, let's get into the show. And I'll have links for everything in the episode description. I say Jess will have it. Bye.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnocky and I'm sitting here with Jess Perkins and Matt Stewart.
Hello, David. Hello, Jessica.
Hello, Matthew. Hello, David.
Look, I've brought you here to do a quick little intro for the episode that everyone is about to hear. Wow.
It's very exciting.
So nice to be involved.
Which I believe might be the last non-Patreon episode that we'll be putting out from our live shows on the UK tour.
Hang on, I'm just going to take a step back there. You brought us in here just for this.
Yes, I know you drove 45 minutes for this, what is hopefully a 2-minute intro.
You said there was an emergency.
Yes.
We drove through thick smoke, Dave.
My foot was trapped in the toilet. I got it out. I hoped he'd forget I said the word emergency and no one would ever know. And now, here we are.
It's funny because that's something that would happen to you. You know, somehow.
Well, if people say I'm going to kick the shit out of you, well, I got stuck. I called my two best pals.
Oh, my God. Oh, well, you're only friends. Anyway, yes. What were you saying? Something not shit-related.
This is the final episode we're putting out from our
Yes.
UK tour, unless you're a Patreon supporter. We've put out a couple episodes, including one recently, our cryptid special.
Oh, that was a good fun time.
And another one will be coming out this month if you want to support us on Patreon. But this episode was recorded in Bristol. We went back to the Hen and Chicken because we had such a great time there last year. Despite it being quite a small population, when you look at it numbers-wise, they really support us in Bristol.
About 18 people live there.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And they all brought 10 friends.
That was a real fun time.
It was
Bristol
great.
a lot. Bristol, I think, was maybe where I had the one edible meal I had in the UK.
Oh, my God. That pizza was so good. If you want good food, go to the Hen and Chicken and get a pizza. My God.
And if you don't want good pizza, go to the rest
Go
of Britain.
anywhere else.
They're so close to Italy. How they fuck it up?
How are we doing it better? We are so far away.
I am going to go on the record here and say I enjoyed every meal I had in the UK.
Because you have incredibly plain
I know,
taste.
I'm very bland.
You're a basic bitch,
I
Dave.
love it. Baked beans, mashed potatoes.
I'm into that.
Somehow they fuck it up.
No, great. I love all the stuff that they do. And an English breakfast. Yes.
Can you
I
imagine
think this is what I fucked up is I was trying to get like a pizza when I should have been just getting, can I have mash and peas and beans and the stuff they're famous for.
Matt was pretty pissed in Leeds when before the show we all ordered food. You guys got pizza and I ordered the baked potato with baked beans and coleslaw.
It looked so good.
It was so
Oh,
good.
we're such
good.
idiots.
And the pizza was...
How about the pizza we
Fine.
had at the hotel on the last
that
night?
was the worst of all of them.
It was oily.
I still can't get that taste out of my mouth.
I've never not finished a
There
pizza.
was a pool of oil in the
It
center.
was disgusting. I've never met a pizza I haven't finished, and I'm proud of that.
I couldn't finish
That
it
one, I
either.
had like a slice. I was like, well, I'm good.
And the other thing was it was like 20 pounds or something.
It was so bad.
They had,
Anyway.
they had a £5 delivery fee to bring it from the ground level up to level 1.
We thought, to go out, we'll really treat ourselves. But we didn't. We punished ourselves.
Would have been cheaper to get Uber Eats to someone to drive the better pizza in. Anyway, I enjoyed my veggie burger very much at that place. Anyway, this episode was recorded in Bristol. Thanks to everyone that came to the show. It was a lot of fun. One of the few times that we actually, because we stayed so close to the venue, we could stick around and have a beer afterwards with some people, so that was really nice.
Yeah.
Including the famous Raw Collins from the Weekly Planet Network. No,
Yeah.
what's his network called? Planet Weekly.
Planet
Broadcasting.
Oh, my God.
Matt's been on holidays.
And out of the loop.
Still warming up the pipes and the mind. And we'll be back at the end of the episode to tell you a bit more stuff. But until then, enjoy this episode more than they enjoy their pizza.
It's not hard. It's like enjoy it a minimal amount, and you'll be winning by heaps.
Ladies and gentlemen, people of Bristol, how are you doing out there? Oh, that's good. I can see some of you through this door. Someone's taking a photo of me right now. This was supposed to be a discreet intro. Hello. Thumbs up there. Look, great. Hey, we're actually going to do the show from within here. The first 3 rows are getting a partially obscured view. The rest of you are getting nothing. How do you feel about that? Someone in the front row just said, it's fine with me. Okay, I'm taking that as an answer. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm supposed to be doing here is building up a bit of energy as we welcome to the stage, all the way from Melbourne, Australia. It's us. Please give it up for Do Go On! Bristol, how you doing? Thank you so much for coming out and joining us for another episode of Do Go On. My name is David Warnicky and I'm standing here with Jess Perkins and Matt Stewart. Yeah!
Thank you so much.
Hello.
What a pleasure to be in Bristol, what I would call my favourite city in all of this county. So,
Wow. All right, I'm going to ask you your top three there. What's in at number 2? What does Bristol beat? Let them know how important they are.
there's no county here, Dave. Trick question, sucked in. You fucking idiot. You sound quite foolish now, having said that.
What's the? We
What
drove.
does that mean? How's there no county here? Isn't that your system?
Are we in the one place without a county in the whole country?
Do we slip into Wales accidentally?
Someone just went, it's complicated. Yeah, all right.
We went through the Cotswolds today. We picked a place on the map to go to. A beautiful sounding place, Stroud. beautiful town, Stroud.
Stroud.
Yeah,
beautiful spot.
Sandwiches, Stroud.
Cotswolds, Stroud, it's all beautiful sounding.
It just rolls off the tongue.
Oh, just to tell you something we did today. We drove underneath your beautiful bridge.
Oh.
And it was sensual, to say the least.
Beautiful. Never seen it from below before. Oh my god, it's even better from below.
Yeah, we've seen it at all angles now. And yeah, I couldn't pick a favourite angle. Underneath's top 5 for me.
Top 5 angles. Oh, it really is a beautiful place. Thank you so much for coming back. Give us a round of applause if you were here last year when we were this fantastic venue.
A few people, awesome.
Thank you. Round of applause if you've ever heard our show Do Go On before.
That is a relief every time, I'll be honest.
Honestly.
Ooh.
Other end of the scale. Don't be shy. If you've never heard our show before, please cheer now.
Great.
Hello.
Could we get a spotlight on?
Well, we don't need a spotlight because we've got one on the front row.
Oh.
Yeah. There's always one friend pointing out the one who hasn't listened, and the one who hasn't listened is doing exactly, because you're that asshole going, he hasn't! And your friend's going, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Jess, you just called the wrong one the arsehole. The one who hasn't listened is the arsehole.
Where have you been?
Where do you live? Under a rock? More or less. I'm
Under
so
a
sorry.
beautiful bridge.
No,
Beautiful angle.
I reckon he's from Stroud. Is anyone from Stroud in?
Bullshit.
Yeah. I reckon that sounds like someone from Stroud to me. Well, thanks for joining us. We had a sandwich in your place.
In your place.
We broke into your house and made a sandwich.
Yeah. You need bread. We destroyed your toilet.
Yeah, we're gluten intolerant and it went wrong. It went really wrong. You're laughing at destroy the toilet, aren't you? You really like that. And you said it.
I know, I've not liked Matt's face because he hates poo jokes. He hates them.
Well, it's because I don't poo myself. I can't relate to that kind of humour.
Yeah.
That sort of potty humour.
I don't get it. Oh.
But, good on you guys. And shitting at your bums.
God, Australians, aren't we a beautiful species? Dave, start the show, I reckon.
Well, if you haven't heard the show before, which a few people haven't, just for your benefit, what we do here is we usually take it in turns to report on a topic suggested by a listener. And the person doing the topic has done all the research, the other two people don't know what it is. And it is Jess Perkins, a lovely term.
Okay, so the people wooing, I don't reckon they were here last year when Jess...
how you say, fucked up. Just like earlier this tour, we did Irish topics in Dublin, and I chose Bono. And they hate Bono so much, with a fiery passion. I thought I was going to die.
So, are you sort of drawing a line between Ireland to Bono is Bristol to Dr. Death? Which is what your topic was last year. Harold Shipman.
I'm going to say it's a similar level of hatred, yeah.
Feels right. That feels right.
I really didn't like him.
But to get us onto topic,
I think she means Bono. Obviously they didn't like Harold Shipman. That's probably almost an understatement to say they didn't like Dr. Death. Honestly, bit of a jerk.
Yeah. Didn't pay his taxes. Okay, so we always
No,
start.
that's the thing about Harold. He always paid his taxes.
We always start with a question. I've written 2.
I mean, are you trying to make up for lost time?
Yeah, traditionally I don't write them because I'm a bit of a maverick like that, and I forget. But no, I wrote one question and then I read it backstage. And I went, oh, that's probably a bit dumb. So I'm going to try the second question that I just wrote.
Okay.
Well, I think that was worth explaining.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Just so you all know the process. This question is, what made the Dionne sisters Canadian celebrities?
Dionne. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to need to hear the first question.
Oh, wait, Canadian?
Yes.
Dionne?
Yes.
Celine?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Was your answer going to be what made them famous? Celine. Never heard of the other sister.
What did they have to do to become celebrities?
Invent something.
They did not invent something.
Ride a horse
They may
together.
have... Oh.
Backwards. Upside down.
Are we
Are
getting
you
closer?
done? No, not at all.
Oh.
It's even more basic than that. Something that everybody in this room's done.
Pooed.
That is
Except
not
for-
technically true.
No? No? Does anybody in the audience have an idea? Destroy the toilet. I mean, we've all done that at some
No one
point.
has ever said that so politely.
Destroy the toilet. Oh, I'm sorry. I do seem to have destroyed your toilet.
Oh, Cheerio.
You people
Yeah, it was
are
the
weird.
Cheerios. I had too many Cheerios. Gluten intolerant.
Cheerio. No, the thing that the Dionne sisters did to become celebrities was they were born.
Oh, we have all done that. Yes?
We've all
Have we?
done that.
Oh, it takes me back.
Let me explain. So, in a small farmhouse outside in rural. Well done, Jess. First sentence.
I'm really worried.
I wrote this a while ago, to be honest. So, look, we're all reading it, hearing it together for the first time. Okay. In a small farmhouse outside Ontario, Canada. In rural Ontario, Canada? Either. Oliver Dionne and his wife, Elzire Dionne, lived with their 5 children. Ernest, Rose-Marie, Therese, Daniel and Pauline. That's 5 kids.
Okay. Rose-Marie.
Only a few months after Pauline was born, in 1933, Elzire was pregnant again. They're not messing around. Well, they are, actually. Elzire...
That question does come to mind, and that is, do they know what's causing it?
Yeah, I don't know if you can pull that out for a 5-kid family.
She's pregnant again.
Oh.
Elzire believed that she was probably carrying twins, but this was 20 years before ultrasounds, so...
20 years before twins.
It was anyone's guess. But she was like, oh, I reckon I've got a couple in there. On May 28th...
You mean like a romantic couple? That's cool.
Yeah.
No wonder they're famous.
Yeah.
It was Charles and Diana. I'm only joking, they were never romantic. Is that true? I don't know. Is that true? Because Charles ended up with Bono?
Horseface.
No. Camilla. Parker Bowles. So that was where I got the Bono from. Camilla Parker Bono. Oh boy.
So she's pregnant.
She's pregnant. Very good, Dave. On the 28th of May 1934, her husband, Oliver, called for the midwives and a doctor. Dr. Alan Roy Dafoe, amazing name, arrived and assisted in the birth of not 1, not 2,
Uh-oh.
not 3, but 5 babies.
Oh, that last one was fun. You skipped 4.
Well, just jump ahead.
So they've gone from 5 to 10.
Yep.
Can we ask the question now?
I'll allow it.
Do they know what's causing it?
Even today, we know that's incredibly rare. In fact, it's about 1 in 11 million.
But I'm just remembering that this is a story about twins.
What? When did I say twins?
I'm not sure.
You just said 2 names at the top.
What?
Didn't you say...
What was
you
the
just said
question?
sisters.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Okay.
What's happened there is both Matt and I have gone. There's 2 here.
Idiots.
They can make more than 2 sisters?
What? So
Crazy. There's
girls.
5 of them. So it's like incredibly rare now, but back then it had never happened before. They were the first quintuplets.
What?
The first quintuplets.
That is cool.
People lost their fucking minds.
Imagine the doctor just keeps pulling them out. Oh my god!
Like this woman's
Oh my
like,
god!
it's like a magician's hat.
101 Dalmatians.
Yeah. So the
But
doctor.
you did say
Yes.
she knew she had twins.
No, I said she thought she might have been pregnant with twins. Thought might.
And she was wrong.
You jumped to some conclusions.
Well, if it was good enough for her. Are you saying that a mother doesn't always know?
In this case, she did not.
Well, that feels a bit rough from you.
To be fair,
How
I don't think
dare
any
you.
woman's conceived and gone, I reckon I've got quintuplets in there.
But she must have been
She
huge.
must have been massive.
So big. So big.
Anyway, let me just continue. So the doctor, he runs into the farmhouse and he told the girl's uncle, who was in the house, about their birth. And then he ran to the post office in the next town and told everyone there.
He ran to the next town.
He's just a real gossipy doctor.
And he's yelling at people in line at the post office.
There's my babies! And they're going, what? And he's already left. I don't know.
That's how they used to deliver the mail. That guy would run from town to town.
Yelling abridged versions of the news. Meanwhile, so the uncle back at the farmhouse, he contacts the local newspaper called the North Bay Nugget. Very good.
I've never done one of those.
You've never lived. Apparently, though, so the uncle contacts the newspaper, but he wasn't contacting them to tell them about this amazing occurrence. He contacted them to ask how much it would cost to place a birth announcement in the paper for 5 babies from a single birth. He's like, would it be more for 5 or... And the person on the phone's like, sorry, what? So the newspaper's editor immediately put the amazing news out on the wire service and then sent a reporter and a photographer to the farmhouse.
He's like, oh no, I've got to pay for this as well.
Yeah.
Oh no, every newspaper in the country.
I just wanted to put in an announcement. Within 6 hours of their birth, the Dionne quintuplets, Yvonne, Annette, Cecile, Emile and Marie, were photographed for the world to see. 6 hours of their birth.
5 names. What, Cecile and Emile. Why? You've got so many opportunities to not rhyme 2 of the names.
My dad is
Rhyme
John.
all or none of them is all I'm saying.
My dad's John.
Huey,
and
Dewey
he-
and Louie
okay,
style.
all right. You let me know when I can speak.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you did cut in over what I was saying. So it's a weird thing to get upset about.
I'll
but
cut
okay.
in here.
It's not rhyming. My dad's John, but he has a sister Joan, like the female version of his name.
That is ridiculous.
There's so many names. Oh, what's happened to you? Do you know?
My grandma and my granddad.
What are their names?
Oh, they...
Joan and oh god.
Joan and Joan. Well, what about Alanis Morissette's dad, whose name is Alan? He made up a new name. Like, oh, I guess I'll call her Alanis.
Is that
Alanis.
true? Alanis isn't a real name.
And that is very ironic.
No, it's actually not. Oh, I love it how you don't like bad jokes here.
But you
Just-
love puns. Your
No.
country,
Okay.
your country lives on puns. You're pun mad.
That's confusing. What he did was the same. What's the difference? What is a pun? Was that not a pun?
Not a pun.
Fucking hell, that's confusing. Oh, bad pun.
A bad
sure.
pun.
Where do you draw the line?
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what to do with that.
I love baffling heckles. They're my favourite. But he's right. We should draw the line
Yeah,
with
draw
him.
the line at Bono.
I like Bono.
You didn't say that in Dublin. You didn't have the guts to say that there.
No, but they weren't polite like these guys. I feel like they would have really... They were up and about in Dublin. I think these guys would just be like, they're a bit disappointed with you.
Oh. Yeah, like that.
Is that a Bristol thing? Do you do disappointment here? Yes. Yes, we do, and we're doing it as you right now.
Yes. Okay, so the quintuplets were born 2 months early, and although their individual weights weren't recorded, their total weight at birth was 13 pounds 6 ounces.
It's very efficient back then.
Just put them all on a scale.
Imagine
6 kilos.
If one baby was 12 pounds and the rest of the others was 1 pound.
They were very little. So collectively they weighed 13 pounds. They were immediately wrapped in cotton sheets and old napkins.
Old napkins.
Yeah.
Like used?
They got soy sauce all over them. Can only assume back then, in the place that you're talking about, big in
Canada.
Canada, yeah, famous for its soy.
Yeah. So they're all wrapped up, laid in the corner of the bed, and their mother, Elzire, she was in a bit of a bad way, her body obviously going into shock after giving birth to 5 babies unexpectedly. But good news, she recovered within a few hours and was doing a lot better. And one of the nicest things about this story is how much their local, their community rallied around them. So the babies were kept in a wicker basket. Wow.
Did they really rally around them? Between the whole town, they came up with a wicker basket.
Well, yeah, I was going to say... That was borrowed from their neighbours. No one had anything better. They were covered with heated blankets, which is nice, yeah.
Oh.
And they...
Isn't it famously the wicker basket thing and then heat? Isn't that what happened? I've only seen film clips of it, but doesn't the wicker man... Because this sounds like disaster to me.
If you don't like that, you might not like this.
He set fire to the basket.
No, they were because they were cold because they were so little, and a little. They were quite ill, so they took them into the kitchen and just put them in front of the oven with the door open. Get some of that heat.
Was their mother a witch in a candy house?
Their mother was a chicken nugget.
That makes sense. Their mother was a chicken nugget.
Yeah, into the oven, 20 minutes at 180, they'll be fine.
So you're imagining a big chicken nugget giving birth to 5 little chicken nuggets.
Did not think I was going to be able to hold that beer in. Woo! Really? Well, there you go, son.
Can you confirm that's what you were thinking, please?
Sorry, say again.
How did you miss all of that? This whole time you've been picturing a big chicken nugget giving birth to 5 little chicken nuggets.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wait, this whole time?
Yeah, the oven had nothing to do with it. That just confirmed my suspicions.
That was my big twist at the end. They're actually nuggets.
Yeah, sorry
Is
to
it
ruin
because
the
the paper was the North Bay nugget or something? Has that been in your head the whole time?
Yeah.
I don't have time to unpack your brain. Okay. So they've put them in the kitchen to keep them warm, and one by one they were taken out of the basket and massaged with olive oil.
Oh, yeah, they're nuggets.
They're going in that oven. They're going in. What's happened here is someone has walked in on their dad, about to put them in the oven, covered in oil, and going, "Oh no, I'm just keeping them warm.
Keeping babies warm."
Yeah, just putting a bit of rosemary, a bit of thyme on them. Yeah,
sea salt.
we season all our babies here.
Why are you wearing a bib?
Oh, now I feel bad about this. Every 2 hours for the first 24, they were fed water sweetened with corn syrup.
Fattening them up.
And by the second day, they were moved to a slightly larger laundry basket. Someone found a bigger basket for them, and kept warm with hot water bottles. They were watched constantly and often had to be sort of woken up because they were quite unwell. People were worried they weren't going to make it. They were then fed with 720 formula, which is cow's milk, boiled water, 2 spoonfuls of corn syrup, and 1 or 2 drops of rum for a stimulant.
I love old school science.
Yeah. Just give the baby rum. They're hours old. I'll be right. So yeah, these babies were the first set of quintuplets to survive past infancy. and the world went completely mad. At first, the media attention seemed to actually be a bit of a godsend because people from all over the country helped out in different ways. There were journalists from Chicago and Toronto who went to see the girls but also brought with them water-heated incubators that people later said definitely saved their lives. Oh. So that's nice. It's not all funny, guys. Some of it's just sweet.
That is nice.
Like those sweet, sweet babies.
Regret face, yeah.
I'll stand by what I said.
Hospitals from all over the place shipped in breast milk, and the Red Cross provided a nursing team that were with the babies around the clock. They had hands-on care. But there were downsides as well. So thousands of people flocked to the house trying to peek in the windows to see the babies.
Thousands peeking at the window.
Yeah, people, just tourists. Reporters were milling about trying to be the first to break any new developments. Meanwhile, the girl's father, Oliver Dionne, worried about how he would pay for medical care and all of the other expenses of 5 more kids in the middle of the Great Depression. So they weren't a poor family, but I mean, they did just double the amount of kids they had in one go. So within days of their birth, Oliver was approached by the Chicago World's Fair, who wanted to put the quintuplets on display.
Okay.
In a travelling fair for a bit. Oliver went to his priest for guidance on whether he should accept offers to publicly display the quintuplets for money. The priest did what any good man of God would do and offered to be his business manager.
Something that you haven't mentioned as well is one of those babies was a bearded lady. One of them was a strong man. One of them ate a bear. I've forgotten what other freaks there are, but there were definitely 2.
I'm trying to think of more.
3 legs.
3-legged babe. One had one was
3 legs.
Shot out of a cannon.
one was a rabbit boy, and a werewolf as well, which is, to be honest, quite a different thing.
And the 5th one was a chicken nugget. There you go. Good. Ticking the boxes.
So with the advice of the baby's doctor, Dr. Alan Roy Dafoe, and his new business manager, Father Daniel Routhier,
God damn it.
Oliver agreed that if his daughters were healthy enough, they would appear at the Chicago's World Fair for 6 months. Within a week of their birth, the deal had been signed for tens of thousands of dollars. And this, as I said, was during the Great Depression, so that was so much money. But the father, Oliver, regretted it immediately. He tried to revoke the contract a few days later, stating that his wife hadn't signed it, so it wasn't legally binding. But it didn't work, and the Chicago promoters were putting on pressure to take the babies on the road.
Oh, they're still babies.
Yeah, they're a week old, and their dad
God.
sold them.
Is the impressive part supposed to be that they look the same?
They are identical, yes.
Right, but all babies. They all look the same.
Yeah.
You have 5 babies. Okay, wait till they're a bit older, then they'll look similar.
This is back in the days where they'd put anything as... Do you think those ladies were really bearded? No, you're right, they were. Do you think that many clowns could really fit in a car? Do you think that goat was really a unicorn? The answer to all these questions is yes.
You got a lot of regrets tonight.
That door to the side of stage is so close.
Just beckoning. But the baby's health was deteriorating a little bit, and they were losing weight. So the Ontario Attorney General's office proposed a solution to Oliver and his wife Elzire. Sign over custody of the girls to the Red Cross for 2 years. The Red Cross was under no obligation to the promoters. Plus, they would build a state-of-the-art hospital across the street from the farmhouse just for the girls' care. Seems like a no-brainer. So the Red Cross covered the cost of the nurses' wages, supplies, and ensuring that enough breast milk was being shipped to the hospital. They also oversaw the building of the hospital specifically for the Dionne quintuplets. It was a massive project.
What was in it for the Red Cross? Doing the right thing. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. preventing the babies from being
Okay.
taken on tour. So weird.
I just think
I
I
wonder
always
what a baby rider would be. You know what their demands would be?
similar to ours.
Yeah.
Small dark room.
Someone to rock us to sleep.
Yeah.
And milk.
Yeah. Actually, that does line up pretty closely.
So,
Breast milk, though, important.
yeah.
Breast milk.
none
Very
of this cow
important.
shit.
I had 4 litres back there tonight. 4 litres. The new tour record.
He's a growing boy, don't worry about it. So they built the hospital across the road from the family home, and the babies were moved over. But you don't have to feel too bad for the parents, because in February of 1935, the Dionnes travelled to Chicago as parents of the world-famous babies and made stage appearances.
Oh, now I don't feel bad for them. They made stage appearances. And they're real fun.
They are fun. I think this was part of the reason that the Premier of Ontario proposed a bill to permanently strip them of custody and make the girls wards of the state. He argued it would protect them from being exploited and would ensure that any money made would be held in a trust for the girls' benefit. But just because the government were trying to protect the girls from being exploited didn't mean they wouldn't milk it a little bit for themselves. So the Dafoe Hospital and Nursery was built for the girls, named after their doctor, who ran to the post office. It had an outdoor playground designed to be a public observation area.
I mean, that is extremely strange.
It's so weird. It was surrounded by a covered arcade which allowed tourists to observe the sisters behind one-way screens. The sisters were brought to the playground 2 to 3 times a day in front of the crowd. It was a 9-room nursery with a staff house nearby. The staff house held 3 nurses and 3 police officers in charge of guarding them, while a housekeeper and 2 maids lived in the main building with the quintuplets. The building was surrounded by a 7-foot barbed wire fence. So basically it was a zoo/prison.
Yeah, if you want to make sure those babies can't crawl out. 7-foot barbed wire, that should probably do the trick.
Do it. Hey, but I mean, you don't want to have to renovate in a year or 2 when they grow. So you think, all right, they're going to be here for a while. 5-year-olds, generally they're 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
We want to make
At
it...
the very least, they can leap 7 foot tall.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so this is Canada.
This is Canada.
And in a very different
In the
time.
1930s.
Yeah, this is a pre-9/11
And
world,
people
so
just lost their minds.
it's a very different world.
It was a different time.
Very different.
time.
You put babies in zoos back then, I don't know
Yeah.
what to tell you. So the sisters were constantly tested, studied and examined, with records being taken of everything. And they had a pretty rigid routine. Every morning they dressed together in a big bathroom, had doses of orange juice. You love orange juice, Dave.
Doses of orange juice. Yes. I take it in a syringe. Just hooked up to my
In
veins.
his butt.
Yeah, that's right.
The vein in his butt.
Yeah.
It's the most veiny place or something like that, I've heard. Is that not true? Butt's not meant to be veiny? I got to make a quick call.
So they'd have their orange juice and then they went to have their hair curled. I assume there was a salon on premises as well. They then said a prayer, a gong was sounded, and they ate breakfast in the dining room for 30 minutes. Then they went and played in the sunroom for 30 minutes.
Is everyone else picturing babies at a dining table?
Yeah, big time. With it, like cutlery. What? Nuggets.
No nuggets. Yes, is everyone picturing nuggets sitting at a dining table?
Yes.
They had a play in the sunroom for 30 minutes, took a 15-minute break from playing, and at 9 o'clock had their morning inspection with Dr. Dafoe. They bathed every day before dinner and were put into their pyjamas, and dinner was served at precisely 6 o'clock. Then they went into the quiet playroom to say their evening prayers.
And then a gong was sounded.
A gong was sounded. Each girl had a colour and a symbol to mark whatever belonged to her. So Annette's colour was red and her design was a maple leaf. Cecile's was green and a turkey. Emile?
They just, like, one of them's the most patriotic Canadian symbol, and then it drops away to green turkey.
Then there's a white and a tulip, blue and a teddy bear. That's cute. And pink and a bluebird. Come on.
Pink and a bluebird?
What are you fucking thinking?
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I just heard Dave talking about thinking kids were nuggets.
Pink and a bluebird.
Oh, that hurts my brain.
I know.
So when you explain to people, oh no, that's mine, that's a bluebird. No, my colour's blue.
Yes, but your symbol is teddy bear. These are 2-year-olds having this
Yeah,
conversation. I'm assuming they were very civil about things. Okay, here's the question. How many tourists do you think came to see them every day? Too many. Too many is a very good answer.
I'm guessing 20,000.
I reckon 2,000.
20,000 a day.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's too much.
That's too much. That's a dumb thing to say.
2,000.
I meant to say 125 people. That is as silly as... that was a joke answer. What I meant was 2,479.
Okay, well, Matt is now closer.
Thank
because
you.
it's 3,000.
That is
I basically said that.
That's 1 million people a year.
Yeah, well...
Okay, that's plus Matt.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I've never heard someone say anything that clearly from a crowd before. Okay, that's fast math.
How many did you say? 1 million a year?
It's 1 million a year.
Because it says that in the time they lived there, which was until they were about 9, almost 3 million people walked through the hospital doors. So maybe it slowed down. Maybe it was seasonal, you know?
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, they shut down over winter or something.
I like the fact that Jess...
And it just had a sign up that said, like, the quintuplets are sleeping.
Jess doubts her facts because Dave said something quickly.
Yeah.
Which we've already heard from the floor is the fastest math ever occurred. Do you trust this freak? I don't.
I don't trust math.
Yeah.
In general. I think it's a sham.
Yeah. Math is a sham.
Math is a sham. There, I said it.
So it's still 3 million people. Are they paying an entry fee?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Which goes to the government.
There's like hot dog stands and
Come get the quintuplets hot dogs.
yeah. No nuggets.
No, that would be
Too
offensive.
confusing.
I mean, come on.
But guys, don't worry about their parents because Oliver Dion ran a souvenir shop
Where?
and a woolen store opposite the nursery called Quintland.
Because it's still opposite their house.
Yeah.
Opposite their house from their parents who no longer have custody over them.
Yep.
So their parents are seeing the building every day.
Yep.
Of where their kids have been taken. The prison there.
I mean, it was his fault though, wasn't it?
Was it his fault? He just
Yeah,
wanted
he
to
signed them
talk.
off to the
Oh, yeah, that's
to the
right.
World Fair.
But then didn't he sign them off to the Red Cross to try and stop that? And then they went, actually, we'll take them to the prison.
No, they said we're going to build them a hospital, and they did. They just put barbed wire fences around it like a normal hospital.
So but you're saying till they were 9. So what happened? He signed them off till
Maybe
they were
I'll
2.
get to that.
Well, I mean, you've overshot it by 7 years. In my defence,
I will get that.
unless I missed something.
I will get to that very soon.
I think I ruined it with the very quick maths. Sorry about that.
So the souvenir's available at Quintland. I know you're dying to know what he was selling.
Is that a pun on Australian state Queensland?
I don't think it is.
Because that's niche.
No, I don't think it's a play on Queensland. I think it's more like quintuplets.
Yeah.
So quint.
Yes.
And then have you heard of Disneyland?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's where the double meaning is where the pun comes in. So I got the first part of it.
Right.
That's not a pun. Is it? Or is it? Yeah, people
I
are...
can't confirm or deny if they're basing it off Queensland, the state in Australia.
Well, thank you. Well, then I guess we'll have to say that it definitely is.
Sorry, you guys having a conversation in the front row there?
That's all right. We'll wait. Unfucking believable.
He was
Front row. Yammer, yammer, yammer. Jesus Christ.
he was explaining to the guy... So one of the friends has never heard of us before and the other one has, and he was saying to that guy who hasn't heard us, they're from Australia.
Not Queensland, though. That place is fucked. So, the souvenirs.
I love,
What? Is there a Queenslander here? I'll fight you. I don't care.
Is it
I love
genuine?
Queensland.
Put your hand up, you coward.
Is there genuine?
Fucking fire you, Queensland.
Is there any Queenslanders in?
Queenslander! They're bogans, a lot of them.
If any
I just forgot we're recording this.
Yeah.
You felt so invincible. They're so
I
far
really
away.
did.
You can say whatever you like.
We're on the other side of the world.
But they're going to hear that.
They can't get me. They can.
Yeah. We'll probably visit Brisbane and Queensland next year.
No, we won't. I'll be busy that weekend.
If any Queenslanders are listening, I'll be at the Brisbane Comedy Festival in March. Tickets at mattstreetcomedy.com.
And you love Queensland.
I love Queensland.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm a bit like them. But only in the good ways. You know.
They're fast learners here. I like it. They're souvenirs.
At Quintland.
Queensland. Maybe based on Queensland. You could get autographs, framed photos, spoons.
Sorry. Autographs from the 2-year-old babies.
Yep.
I like that.
You know when when kids try to draw art for their parents or aunts and uncles, and you have to be like, "Oh, that's so good." It's like that. But they've tried to write their names. Spoons, cups, plates, plaques, candy bars, books, postcards, and dolls. Surely you could make one doll and put them in a 5-pack. You know, they're identical twins, identical quintuplets.
Isn't that brutal to be selling? Like, those kids want those dolls, and every day people are coming and taking dolls away. What a nightmare.
Would you want to play with a doll of yourself? Stupid question. Of course you would. I would love that. There were also, this is so fun, there were also these big, like, bins filled with free stones in them. And the stones were from the area, and they claimed to have the magical power of fertility.
Oh, yeah.
The bins would need to be refilled every day. People were just like, give me them free fertility stones.
So they were big cum stones, basically.
Dare I ask, what do you do with the stone?
I think you just put it on your bedside table.
I actually think you have to rub it on the area.
Really? Like a chicken nugget.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm on stage. Oh, I just woke up.
I've got some questions for later. That's how you do the North Bay Nugget, yes. How long have you been sitting on that one?
Sitting on the North Bay Nugget? Well...
Been a long time for you, hasn't it? He's due any day now.
Been about 30 years. The quintuplets brought in more than $50 million in tourist revenue in Ontario.
During the Great Depression.
They became Ontario's biggest tourist attraction of the era, surpassing the Canadian side of the Niagara Falls. They brought in more money than Niagara Falls. Celebrities visited them. Clark Gable, Betty Davis, Mae West, and Amelia Earhart all went and visited the quintuplets.
I was about to say I dare to name one I've heard of, and they were all pretty big time.
That list was a lot longer, and any name I didn't know, I was like, delete. I was like, who the fuck is that? The Dionne quintuplets also appeared in ads for dozens of products.
Dozens.
Dozens.
Oh
Yeah.
man, these kids are really being exploited. Oh my god.
All the big ones. Ketchup. Oats. Those little lifesaver candies. Palmolive soap. Typewriters. Bread. Ice cream, and my favourite, sanitised mattress covers. It's glamorous, isn't it? They also appeared in 3 films in their early years. They were movie stars, always playing quintuplets, typecast. 2 of the films concentrated on telling the fictionalised story of the heroic doctor who delivered the Wyatts and took care of them. So the doctor's like, yeah, I'll tell you my story. Piece of shit.
Directed by...
Yeah, Dr. Alan Roy Dafoe. In the 9 years they spent in the hospital, they left only a few times to meet the King and Queen in Toronto and for a couple of promotional tours. But later in their life described those years as the happiest, least complicated years of our lives. They loved it in there. They had a great time.
How do they remember it?
What do you mean? They were 9. You don't remember being 9?
I wish.
It was 400 years ago.
You really breezed over the King and Queen there.
They met the King and Queen. How's it, everyone?
We've all done it.
Yawn.
Maybe in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's boring for you guys.
She doesn't visit us that much anymore.
She's a dog. In a good, she loves dogs. It's a compliment to her. She's a corgi dog. Or whatever kind of dog she has.
Corgis, you nailed it.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Some of them seemed offended.
Well done.
I thought the Queen was a joke over here. Oh. Okay.
So is the Queen your Bono? That is so weird.
I don't get this place. I don't get it. Maybe we just get too much sun because we don't really care about anything enough. We tried to think of the equivalent, and Dave said Nicole Kidman, and I do hate her, but I don't care that much.
Oh, Bindi. Yeah, Bindi.
Oh my god, now she's getting married. Yay. That'll last.
First thing you said to me when that news came in and people were tweeting you were like, that will never last. That one.
It won't. I'm going on the record now. It won't last. And I will be celebrating the day they make a joint announcement. It's always a joint announcement. No, it's not. It's one person's publicist. The other's already moved out.
Well, anyway, the Dionne's pretty dear to my heart. And, I hate hearing Jess talk about them like this. They're like my Windsors, who are like your royal family. So. But not really. Over here, the Queen is a dog, and the bridge is a king. That's what Bristol means to me.
The bridge is a king.
That was a quick little poem there for you.
Thank you.
So much.
He's an artist. In 1943, the girls they left the hospital to go live with their parents and their siblings across the road. By the way, their parents had 2 more children in the time.
Sure, they were just rolling the dice and hoping for 5 more. Surely.
And had another son 2 years later, so they had 13 children.
Dave, they weren't rolling the dice, they were rolling the kids out of their mum.
Yeah, by the 13th one. Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. Is that how it works?
No. I don't know, actually. I've only had 11, so...
You'll get there one day, kid.
I've said too much. Yeah, so they've got 13 kids, and now 5 coming back to the house. They're not all going to fit in that little farmhouse. Don't worry, they moved to a big mansion, paid for by the girls' trust fund. Yeah, their parents suck. Their life at home wasn't a great environment because the girls hadn't lived with their family for 9 years, so obviously it was a little bit of adjustment. The hospital across the street was turned into a private Catholic school for the sisters with a handful of local girls as classmates. It's like they just picked a few more to make it feel... socialising with other kids.
Their class is full of extras.
Yeah. All paid to be their friends. They get A+ in everything they say. The teacher's like, very good. As the years passed, interest in the girls began to recede, but they were still forced to dress up in matching outfits for photo shoots in their teen years. And the media continued to pry. For example, the Toronto Star published each girl's weight when they were 14. Why? Why was that relevant? Anyway, it's not. No, good point.
Is one of them still 12 pounds and the other 4 or 1?
Yeah.
That's why it was relevant.
Like, something's not right here.
4 of these are the size of a pea. I'd read that article. Would you read that?
That 4 girls were the size of a pea.
One of them is the size of a baby.
It's very confusing. Yeah. We still just treat them as normal. I do want to let this very sympathetic audience know that it gets a little bleak from here. Cool. All right.
Uh-oh.
No, it's not. I went to say it's not that bad, and then my next sentence is, Emile also began to have seizures. Because of the stigma of the day against epilepsy, the family kept it a secret, even as her seizures became more frequent and severe. But when the girls were 18, they left the family home. They all moved away and didn't have much contact with their parents after that.
Yeah!
Maybe I should just leave it there.
Did they stick together? They move away together, the five?
Yeah.
That's
So
nice.
they were all really close.
Oh, you're scrolling a bit
I know,
there.
because they just cheered, and I just want to leave them happy.
Let's all remember this moment, and we
No.
may have to come back to it.
Should I just leave them happy? All right, but this
They're
is on
not
you.
like they can. I think they can handle it.
I know, but you know.
They understand dreariness. They live in England.
Don't cheer that. These patronising assholes on stage going, oh, it rains a lot here, doesn't it? Oh.
Genuinely, it's not rained once when I've been outside. I've been actually a bit disappointed. You call this winter? Good luck.
That's just because you want to test out your new rain jacket.
I bought a fucking... spent like a week's wages on a fucking winter coat, and it has not been put to the test.
It's 4 jackets in one, isn't it? Is that right?
Mate, I wish. Just the 3.
A few $100 more, you could have got 5 in one.
Yeah.
She tried to upsell.
When
Who
we
needs
get-
5 jackets?
When we get home, you can stand in the backyard and I'll hose you down.
That's all I ask.
Okay, so yeah, the girls all, they left the family home, didn't have much contact with their parents. At 19, Marie joined a strict order of nuns and moved into a convent, and Emile followed her into a different convent soon afterwards. Sadly, Emile died not long after, at the age of 20, from complications from her seizure disorder. In a morbid silver lining, though, Cecile later said that in death, Emile gave her sisters a sort of release because public interest kind of dried up in them. Which is so fucked from the public. But people finally left them alone, so they were able to get on with normal lives. Yep, okay, you wanted this. I was happy to leave it, and they didn't see their parents. Yay! You sick fucks wanted this. So they moved away, because they'd moved out of the family home. Now they've moved completely the other side. They've gone to Montreal. And Yvonne and Cecile went to nursing school together, and Marie and Annette roomed together in a college. 3 of them eventually married. But even as adults, the sisters found it difficult to be around anyone but each other. So they remained really, really close. Marie passed away in 1970 at the age of 36. Yvonne passed away in 2001 at 64. And in the 90s, Cecile's adult son, Bertrand, began...
Incredible
It's not that
name.
funny, but-
Fantastic name.
It's a great
name.
Bertrand. Wow.
He began to investigate and discovered how the account, like their trust fund, had been so mismanaged. And it began this huge public relations campaign to shame the Canadian government into giving them a portion of state profits that they felt they were owed. And eventually, after a couple of years, they took home a settlement between $2 and $4 million. So they got paid out a little bit.
Yeah, how many were alive to get it, though?
3.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and 2 are still alive.
Holy
Really?
shit. When was this story from? I thought it was the
Cecile and-
1800s.
No, Cecile and Annette.
They're the oldest people ever. It's amazing.
Cecile and Annette live in Montreal. They're 85.
Ah, sick. Oh, so it wasn't that long ago at all.
No, it was in the 30s.
Well, 85 years ago, yeah.
That was a while ago.
But a blip. You are quick at math.
It's like a calculator up here.
And just finally, too, the exploitation of the Dionne sisters is the subject of a new book called The Miracle and Tragedy of the Dionne Quintuplets. It's by an author called Sarah Miller, who's previously written about other young women who made headlines, like Lizzie Borden, who we've done a topic on. Sarah has a bit of a hot take on today's society as well. So this is an article from the Washington Post, and it writes, "Given how much more is known about child development now, could that ever be possible again?" Miller isn't sure, and she says, I don't think we'd necessarily have another baby zoo.
Not necessarily.
But in the age of Instagram kidfluencers, you could wind up kicking a different snowball down a similar hill. So in conclusion, Instagram is the same as building a baby prison and charging entry.
I can see that. Yeah, that makes sense.
But that is my report on the crazy
Let's
life.
give it up. Let's get second. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I've never heard of that.
It's a wild story.
It's insane.
Have you? Yeah, I've never heard of that either. Kidfluencers. Wow. What a term.
It's crazy. Crazy story, yeah. There you go. Sorry that it got bleak, but that's life, you know? People put you in a prison, and tourists look at you, and then your parents make money off you.
We've all
It's
been
normal.
there. All been there.
The normal experiences.
Hey, your queen, that's pretty much her life as well. If you think about it.
Yeah, if you do think about it.
Yeah, millions of people visit her house every day.
Yeah.
Well, not every day. Mathematically, anyway.
How many?
Cannot let that slide. I don't know, maybe 10, 15,000 a
A
day.
day? Do you reckon?
I can't wait for you to be fact-checked on that one.
Yeah, you're going to get
I'm
a
going to
tweet.
sit by Twitter here.
Oh.
You're going to get a tweet about that.
Actually,
Actually...
if it's from the Queen, I'll be so stoked. Actually, David.
No, Matt does a good Queen voice. He's been watching a lot of The Crown.
Yeah, very good show. No, David. That's actually, I think that was Mrs. Doubtfire, but...
What about Mrs. Doubtfire doing the Queen?
Okay. You'll get a letter from me. In about
Mrs.
71
Doubtfire
years.
doing the Queen, doing an impression of someone from Jamaica or something? Is that right?
I was actually thinking it was from the West Country, but... Anna, come by Norvestar.
Strap!
Eyes knows you. Let's get a cider. I don't understand anything, but I think I picked that up from somewhere. Really wish there was a curtain could drop down here. Feels like the end, but here I am still sitting up on the fucking stage.
Well, that pretty much does bring us to the end of the show. I'll save you there, Matt. Bristol, thank you so much for coming out and packing out the hen and chicken once again. Give yourselves a massive round of applause. So good to see you. One more time, thank you so much for coming out, ladies and gentlemen. Can we have a big round of applause for the hen and chicken? Will on sound. Thanks, Will. Did a great job. We'll be over there, but until next time, I'll say thank you for coming so much and goodbye.
Bye.
And we're back in the safety of the studio. My God, that was a violent crowd. No, it wasn't.
And that was remember the polite heckles? Chicken nugget. I think that was the most polite, sort of bashful heckles I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, don't look at me.
Some of the London ones and definitely the Dublin ones were really, actually Dublin, you knew what they were saying. London, there was stuff that was pretty baffling, but...
Yeah, Dublin at least made sense and added to the story.
Yeah, they were
London's
funny.
ones was a lot of, sorry, what?
It was a lot of stream of consciousness.
And then a lot of, sorry, what? And them going, oh, I'm too embarrassed to explain.
Some of those awkward pauses.
okay.
Yeah. So it was nice not to have that at Bristol.
Chicken nuggets?
You kind of do a full body thing when you do that. You make yourself
the
small. It's great. I like it.
This is, do you know, because we haven't been in here for a couple of weeks now, this is the time of the show where it's everyone's favourite part of the show, the fact, quote, or question section.
God, we got all the admin out of the way.
Yeah, the report.
We've got the Encyclopedia Britannica, yah out of the way. Fuck off, mate. We've all got Encarta 95.
Yeah.
If I wanted to look something up, I'd jump on Google, you fuckhead. Thank some people from Patreon.
Yeah.
What language
yeah.
is that in?
Oh, yeah.
Is that another language as blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
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 I like Sassy Dave.
I like
He's
Sassy
fun.
Dave too.
Yeah.
So this week on the fact, quote, or question, I guess to explain it, if I can remember how, if you support us on Patreon at patreon.com/dogoonpod on the Sydney Scheinberg Deluxe Package Memorial Edition, rest in peace level. Is that it? You get to
Something like that, yep.
You get to give us a fact, quote, or question. You also get to vote for two out of every 3 topics. But you get to give us a fact, quote, or question, and I read 2 of them out each week. And this week, the first one of 2 is from Stephen Headley, and he's given himself the title of Do Go On Resident Spider Expert. Oh, I wonder if that is a little hint as to what his fact is going to be, because he's given us a fact.
Oh.
And his fact
I don't
is...
like spiders, so I hope it's not a fact that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, nothing terrifying, please.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't read it yet.
Well, now, but you can edit it as you go.
Okay. Tarantulas have retractable claws like cats.
Ew.
Cute so far. Which helps them to climb trees. That's sick. That just sunk in. Retractable claws.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes
Spiders.
sense.
That's wild. So it helps them climb trees. They also have dense, hairy paws called claw tufts. Cute.
Paws. Good use of the word
Yeah,
paws.
but dense. Ugh.
Claw tufts.
Claw tufts. I don't like it.
I thought you would have loved it.
No.
These-
You don't know me at all.
Well, let's continue. These claw tufts have microfiber hairs that use an electrical attraction between molecules to form an adhesive force. This enables the tarantula to climb up glass and out of bathtubs and also carry 173 times its own body weight.
Wow.
Whoa. Dave, that'd be like you picking up a teapot.
Empty.
Obviously. God, imagine Dave trying to pick up a full teapot.
Oh, God. I'm
be a
getting 3rd-degree burns again.
Again. It's happening.
You and everyone around.
I'm just tipping little bits on people. Oh, sorry. Oh. That is, I did not know any of that.
No, that's
That's
fascinating.
wild.
So you can climb up a bathtub. Because
Yeah.
a lot of the time you will see a spider, you're like, mate, you're trapped in there.
Yeah.
There's
How you
not
gonna
a
get out?
Tarantula.
Yeah, because they're so like the side of a bathtub. It's sort of like
Slippery?
and
Sometimes I can't get out of a bath. I'm slipping around.
since my Christmas festive days, I've been struggling a little more. Get out of the bloody tub, have a bit of a soak, bubble bath.
Oh, cannonball.
When I get into the bath, it's almost like Dave's been swirling it around like a hot teapot. That's how much water's left in
Oh,
there.
hello, Archimedes. All right.
Thank you so much for the... So it takes us a little bit of time to warm up into the riffs as the years go on, okay?
Yeah.
They start pretty rusty. We're coming off a break. Thank you so much, Stefan, for that fact, a beautiful fact. And I'd also love to thank Craig Skrobek. Probably not how he pronounces it. Skrobek. 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 He's given himself the title Executive Assistant to the Senior Magician of the Academics Academy.
Whoa.
That sounds impressive.
Sounds like you should be well paid.
I imagine it would be, yes.
Yeah.
To the senior magician.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, big
Who is
time.
definitely well paid.
Yeah.
He has also given us a fact. And this fact is...
Here we go. Better be bathtub related.
Yeah, not spiders.
I'm in the mood for that.
Before kale was given the title of a superfood, Pizza Hut was the largest consumer of the green leaf.
What?
It was used as decoration in their salad bars. That is an amazing fact.
Wow. And people noticed how good it was for you.
It was used as decoration.
And it was easily the healthiest thing in the entire shop, and no one knew.
Even healthier than that, all you can eat soft serve.
I just love the idea that probably still in Pizza Hut, the healthiest thing is the table decoration.
A garnish.
Now.
The garnish is the healthiest thing.
The tablecloth.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Love
Good
that.
fact.
A couple of fascinating facts, which of course I've not at all double checked. So if incorrect, which I don't believe they are, I'm not meaning to cast aspersions.
But don't add us.
But
you know?
don't add us, that's all.
I don't care.
At
I want
Stefan
to
and Craig.
believe. Thank you, Fox Mulder.
Thank you. And I guess now we should thank a few of our other Patreons, which we
Yes.
do every week. Jess, you normally give us a bit of a game relating to the topic.
Yeah. Okay. So, there was so Dave thought these quintuplets were chicken nuggets.
I can't really remember my headspace at the time, but it seemed to make sense.
I don't know that it did, but it
didn't
was a
to
lot of
you,
fun.
But it came out, and then we went with it.
So what if
Chicken nugget?
chicken nugget? So what if
Hope the mic picked that up.
what if for the patrons we say what food they are?
Oh,
It's
great.
either that or which organisation their parents sold them to, and that feels a little more bleak.
Let's go with the food, and no matter what it is, Matt has to repeat it in that voice.
Deal.
And of course, you are what you eat. That's what they say. So I guess basically we're making a judgment call on these people.
Okay.
First off, would I be able to thank from Piedmont in OK, which is going to be Oklahoma, I reckon, Oliver Roselle.
Oliver.
Roselle, my goodness. Sounds like the name of a vino. Oliver Roselle, please. All right.
You
Just
think
a
you have,
glass of the Roselle, please.
you think you have rosé?
Yes, but it just sounded slightly similar. Anyway,
It's incredibly similar.
words are similar.
Okay, his name's also Oliver. Can you think of a food that maybe rings a bell with Oliver?
Vermouth.
Vermouth. Yes, he is
Well,
now.
I'm thinking, yeah, definitely makes sense from what Jess and Dave, you both said there. It's got to be either an olive or a grape. Very similar looking foods.
I'm more of a fan of grapes. But you love an
Love
olive,
them
don't you?
both.
I'm on Team Olive.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We can go
But
olive.
also, been
what about,
cheating on them with Team Grape.
what about an olive dip
Oh,
I
I
like
love
that.
an olive dip.
with a bit of crusty bread?
Yeah,
and some
oh,
yummy
oh.
crackers.
Yes, please. With a glass of Roselle on the side.
Oh, you must.
I love a Roselle.
You simply must.
It's Roselle season.
Thank you, Oliver.
Thanks so
Sorry,
much, Oliver.
Matt, can you just say that in the
yeah.
voice, please?
Which one was
Olive dip.
olive dip?
His whole body changes.
It's really great acting.
It's like his shoulders come up, his eyes widen like a deer in headlights.
Thank you, Olive Dip.
I'm about to heckle.
Whoop,
My heart is racing.
here I go.
So Oliver, because I've been going back through people we've missed, and Oliver has been waiting patiently for more than a year than he should have been. So
Wow.
thank you so much, Oliver.
Thanks, Oliver.
Mr. Roselle.
As has
Please. Mr. Roselle was my father.
from Rockledge in Florida, Tony Martinez. Well, Tony Martinez. It's probably the second one, isn't it?
Tony Martinez.
It's the Floridian version of our Tony Martin. Tony Martinez. Who, if you don't know, is a very funny New Zealand, now Australian comedian.
Legendary.
Absolutely. So funny. Matt, you were lucky enough to have him on Primates once, and it
That's
was
true.
a very
That-
good episode.
That is like a dream. I can't believe that's a true thing. It's amazing.
Have you noticed that his Twitter bio now, all it says is, "No, I will not do your podcast."
That was my fault, I reckon.
You tipped him over the edge. But Tony Martinez from Florida.
That's funny. I hadn't seen that. It's a great bio. I should change mine. But that's not true for me.
Yours is, "Yes, I will do your podcast."
I think I've never said no. But I will
Really?
start, especially after saying that out loud.
Yeah. You're going to get a lot of emails now.
So, Tony Martinez, what are you getting anything from that? Maybe based off Tony Martin, maybe a kiwi fruit.
Oh, that's
Oh,
nice.
yes. Gold or green, though?
Oh, because you're a golden boy.
I'm a
aren't
gold
you?
boy. Love a golden kiwi fruit.
I don't know if I've ever had a golden one. I'm a classic green all the way.
Wait.
I don't eat a lot of kiwi fruit. I like it.
Golden are a lot less tart, very sweet and much softer, which I like.
I love the
Of course you
tartness.
do. Of course you love it soft.
It tastes like I'm eating nothing at all, which I love.
Oh, mush!
Yeah. Honestly, that's why I love mushing it into my mushy porridge.
Dave's favourite food is mush.
So Tony Martinez, aka kiwi fruit. Kiwi fruit.
I like it. Thank you, Tony. We appreciate
Tony, let's let him choose on Twitter. But until then, let's say you're a golden kiwi.
What's
fruit.
it also known as the Chinese gooseberry?
that. Oh.
Really? The Chinese gooseberry. What's a normal gooseberry is a different thing.
I couldn't
I
actually
guess.
tell you. I
I've
guess
no
it
idea.
is.
Is it because it looks like a goose egg? No.
I actually don't know where it comes from.
It's got to be something real clever like that. I
Well,
reckon.
that'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
I zoned out for a bit. I came back in and thought saying that'll be fun.
It was wrong.
Damn it!
Did not make sense in
It's worth a
context, but
try.
I went with it.
You
And
did.
now it's your turn to thank a couple.
I would love to thank a couple of people. I would love to thank from Battle Creek in MI. What's MI, Dave?
Ooh.
Oh, it could be
Missouri?
or Michigan.
All right, you keep talking and I'll
All
look that
I
up.
think MO might be Missouri.
So
Did you know, I learned a fact this week listening to a WTF podcast.
Minnesota. Oh my god. Sorry.
Brad Pitt's from Missouri. He grew up in the Ozarks.
Oh, really?
His family's all still there.
Well, this one's Michigan. In the time you took to talk, I Googled it.
Well done.
Because I can do two things at once.
Michigan, Detroit, Michigan.
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 Battle Creek.
Detroit Rock City. Isn't that where Tim the Toolman Taylor show is set in Michigan?
Well, it's also where Scott Lanning is from.
Hello, Scott.
Scott Lanning.
Scott Lanning sounds a lot like Ant-Man.
I was thinking that too.
Of course you were. We're
Scott
one
Lang.
brain.
Dave that hasn't seen any of the Marvel movies. Is that it? Have we all seen them?
I've seen 3, I think.
All right, we'll have a marathon.
Iron Man 1, Iron Man 3, Guardians of the Galaxy.
All right, you need to see more.
I did see Iron Man 2. That thing didn't make sense. There's
Anyway.
a real big gap in his life. Didn't know what happened.
Yeah, and that's
He's a
on
man
them.
who's an
That's
ant.
on them.
I don't get it.
How can an ant be a man?
Scott Lanning. And what comes to mind for Scott Lanning?
Scott Lanning. Well, I'm thinking Michigan. I was thinking Detroit. Motown. M&M's. Mo starts with an M. As does, I could have just gone from Michigan there. But
Yep. M&M's.
M&M's.
Any particular variation of M&M's?
Oh, yeah. What are we
or-
talking? My
No,
favourite.
well, let's keep the same shape because all of them so far have been in a vaguely chicken nuggety shape.
Oh, yeah.
So let's go with a peanut, which makes them more ovular. Will you accept ovular as a word?
I will now. My favourite are peanut butter M&M's.
Oh, they are fantastic.
Holy shit.
They're
We
not
have
very
them
common
somewhere
here.
Yeah,
in
you
Australia.
can get them every now and then. You can find a small packet of them
Wow.
in a convenience store or something.
Peanut butter is having a real heyday.
Yeah.
I think peanut butter might be peaking. It was very out of fashion a few years back, and now it's in everything.
I love it.
You see it. You know, the beers are starting to do it in stouts. Well, they have been for a little while, but that's my favourite beer at the moment, peanut butter stout.
Oh. I'm just thinking about peanut butter. I was listening to Conan O'Brien's
always
very
thinking
funny,
about peanut butter.
very funny podcast. Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend.
I'm glad we're plugging a few of the little minnow podcasts today. WTF and Conan.
Anyway, well, they were advertising some sort of peanut butter whiskey, and they're having a debate over, no, that's not the best peanut butter whiskey. This is the best peanut butter whiskey. Like, there was so many.
Oh, my God.
I've never heard of peanut butter whiskey, but now I'm intrigued.
Anyway.
My interest has been piqued.
So thank you very much to Scott. You are a peanut M&M, and we love you.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
And I would also love to thank from North Yorkshire.
Oh.
Oh, went for a slight accent there.
Yorkshire.
Oh, yes.
Mark Chopper Reed.
Oh,
Mark
Chop.
Chopper Reed, the doorman to the stars.
Yeah.
Oh, so we missed Chopper. Chopper, sorry that it's taken you so long to get us to to you. Oh my God.
Nailed it.
Let's keep. I'm gonna talk less.
I reckon we've advertised him at we've shouted out to him at the other level before because he's definitely been the do-go doorman.
Oh
Yes, for sure.
That's true.
So what kind of food might Mark Reed be?
It's got to be round. Onion ring.
Oh, love an onion ring.
Me too, love 'em.
Yum.
Don't like them.
Really?
Yeah, I've maybe just never had a good one.
That's true. They can be a bit hit and miss. There are some foods that are pretty safe. Onion rings can be a bit hit and miss. But if they're good, love them.
Right.
For example, pizza's very safe. It never goes wrong.
Yeah, never ever goes wrong. Well, that was my experience up until very recently.
Up until England.
I believe that to be pretty true as well. It's
Pizza.
hard to muck
for
up
sure.
a pizza.
Even pretty crap pizza is edible. That
Yeah.
was inedible pizza.
Yeah.
You've brought it up, and I'd forgotten about. I'd repressed that memory.
Sorry.
Actually, I saw a picture of it on my phone the other day, and I was like, "Oh!"
Why'd you take a photo of
Because
it?
I sent it to you guys.
Yeah.
Like, look at how fucked this thing is.
But it wasn't like that. The first two, I don't remember it being like that. I reckon we just had a bad run.
I had a great run both times. Loved it all.
What are the odds that a country that big could have so much bad food?
I think this was definitely worse, but I reckon the time before that, I still struggled a little
Right.
I haven't had a good meal since I got back.
bit. Dave, are you going to
Christmas was
move?
awful.
Are you going to move? Just move over there.
I loved it over there. honestly, their version of like convenience food, like a Pret or a Greg's on the street.
Oh, yeah.
We do not
yes.
do that. We do not do that anywhere here.
Yeah.
That is good. Greg's great. Obviously, Greg's. I didn't eat enough Greg's. That was
Yeah, you did.
my
That's your
big
problem.
mistake.
I had a few bakes. Love the Greg's. Anyway, Mark Chopper Reed, thank you so much for your
Onion
support, aka the Onion Ring.
Dave's pointing at me.
What?
What? Onion ring.
Say the line.
It gets such a beautiful, genuine delight from Dave every time.
Yeah, I know.
It's very sweet.
You'd think it'd be diminishing returns, but
Nah, he loves it.
It's so funny. Oh, thank you so much. All right, finally, I'd like to thank a couple of people. Another legend that we met on this tour a couple of nights after we did this show that you just heard. I would like to thank Simon Morgan from Leamington Spa.
Simon!
And Simon,
oh well. I mean, he's got an obvious one, right? But it's not an oval shape. Can we make an ovular Lamington?
Yeah, I reckon. You can make him any shape you want.
Great.
Sounded
Great
fun.
Australian invention. 20 New Zealanders listening. Great Australian
Yep, that's one of
dessert
ours.
that we've made.
So is Sam Neill, Far Lap and Pavlova, all ours.
Yeah, remember that time Sam Neill rode far up while eating an ovular Lamington?
whilst Russell
That's
Crowe
on our national
cheered him
flag.
on.
It brought a tear to my Australian eye.
Yeah.
You can have Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, keep her.
Simon, you might know his fantastic graphic work
Yes.
because he frequently makes Dugong-related, how it is psychedelic-based images,
Yeah.
which we often retweet, and we definitely suggest that you follow his Twitter, and now he's got an Instagram account too.
And if you got one of our Christmas cards, which is probably what you were about to say, sorry, Matt, that design was from Simon as well.
So good. We
Very
should post it. Oh, and he just told us like recently that he wants to donate his fee to the bushfire
Yeah,
fund.
which is incredibly lovely because
What
it's
a bloody guy.
really bad here. Really bad. Anyway, Dave, thank a couple more people. Let's bring
Thank you,
it home.
Simon. Who is the Lamington?
Lamington.
The ovular Lamington.
No, you have to say it.
Sorry, that was a different heckler.
I forgot as well this time.
Like, ovular Lamington. Thanks, Simon. I would also like to thank now from Exeter
Exeter.
in Devon.
Devon. Who do scones right.
All right. Well, I had a Christmas lunch with someone from Devon over the.
Oh, tell me
Christmas
they haven't
break.
forsaken their heritage.
I thought it was like a girlfriend's family. They're a family friend. You know, you want to have something to say. So I said, "Oh, you're from Devon. Remind me, how do you do scones there? I can never remember. Is it jam and cream or cream and jam?" And he
And
was
she
like,
said, fuck off.
he just didn't really commit. And I started to think, are you really from Devon?
Oh, you caught him.
You faking it? Are you faking it?
He's playing this out in a... What's the scenario here? He's actually Australian and he met his girlfriend at a pub, thought he'd impress her with an international
He's
accent.
trapped in a lie.
And this is what unravels it.
It did sound like I'm trying to trick him.
Yeah.
Remind me, in Devon, how do they do scones? How do they do them?
It turns out he's lactose intolerant, just never eaten them, doesn't like cream.
He was just
Doesn't like 'em.
He was just a bit like, oh, people do them different ways. I think people tell you. I think you'll do one and people tell you it's the other. I'm thinking that's not my experience.
That's not true.
I've nearly been murdered over there for saying the wrong thing.
Fuck, we nearly murdered
Cream
saying
first in
scone.
Devon. I've been to Exeter. It's a cool city. University town.
Oh, cool.
Stayed in a little village outside of there. It's a beautiful country. A lot of combine orchestra. I don't know. That's somewhere around there. Beautiful cider country.
It's funny, your accent was more convincing than his. I would like to thank from Exeter, Elliot Reginald Dawson.
Oh, ERD.
Fantastic name.
Triptych of names there. Elliot Reginald Dawson.
Oh,
Thank you so
wow.
much for supporting the show. ERD.
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 What does Erd give you food-wise?
Curd.
Oh, yogurt.
Oh, okay. An ovular tub of yogurt.
Dollop of yogurt?
Maybe like a frozen yogurt in an egg shape.
Love a froyo.
An Easter froyo egg.
Yum.
Okay, you have to say Easter froyo egg.
Easter froyo egg.
Froyo egg is hard.
Yeah, I got caught in
Froyo
the
egg.
throat.
Yeah, we did it slightly combine harvester style. Froyo egg. Thank you, Elliot Reginald Dawson.
ERD.
Erd.
E-R-D! E-R-D! I hope that's what your friends chant at you in a display of toxic masculinity.
You and your frat boyfriends from the college.
E-R-D! That's like you're chugging beer. E-R-D! E-R-D! Yeah, Elliot's sick.
And if you don't do it, you're putting the erd back in nerd. That's how they bully you, sorry.
Sorry, but that doesn't happen because you're cool.
That does kind of sound like a fun time to me. I know you were trying to.
Of course it does.
You were trying to illustrate.
Because you're the worst.
I was just thinking, I think Jess is trying to paint a bad picture, but I want to be there. I do this party.
That sort of depends. You can have fun and party with your friends and have respect for other people. That's all.
Yeah.
You can do both. It can happen.
I think they were just mucking around.
E-R-D. Anyway.
Well, that does bring us to the end.
Oh, no. Sorry, one last thing I've just remembered. As Dave's saying goodbye, we've got to induct a few members into the Triptych Club.
I'm afraid once I start saying goodbye,
there's really no wriggle room.
I can't stop.
So this episode is going out basically straight away here on the 15th of January. So that takes me back to anyone who signed up before the 15th of January 2017.
That's a while ago.
So anyone who's been supporting us on the shout-out level or above for the last 3 years straight, you get inducted into this beautiful club. And one of the main things with this is Dave's going to write your name on a page on the website. I think he's...
No, I'm going to write it down on a piece of paper and put it on my fridge. That's what I...
And take a photo and put that photo on the website?
Okay. I'll work out how to do that.
Didn't you put a photo of your mum on there or something?
No. It was dogoonpod.com/your mum's butt. And when you went to that, it was a picture of Dave giving you a thumbs up.
So you definitely know how to do it.
Still there.
Is it?
Yeah. And Y-A, and mums, M-U-M-S. That's how you spell your mum's butt.
Do you remember so many people tweeting us like, it doesn't work because they were writing M-O-M. And it's like, we're Australian. And we've spelt it out for you. You're spelling it different. Anyway.
All right. That does come up a lot. We say that our Australian accent means that we pronounce things differently.
It's fascinating.
It's what an accent is.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Nah, I find it fun.
We're from a different place.
We are in so many ways. So I'd love to induct a few new members into the Triptych Club. My system's come apart here because I can't remember if I've already done it for these two. I think I did. I think I did do it. So I'm Anna Casey and Isaac Smith. I'm pretty sure I did.
Okay. Well,
if I didn't,
if you didn't, you just did it very quickly.
I just did it very quickly then. So you've either got 1.5 or a half. Induction.
My pen wasn't ready.
Anna Casey and Isaac Smith. I'd also love to induct from Suttersville, Pennsylvania, I reckon, PA, Alex Bachet. Fantastic name.
Love it.
What a
Great name.
Apu to Alex Bachet.
I'd also love to, this can't be real, from Sans Sushi in New South Wales, which means no worries in French.
What?
I know that because it's the name of a Frontal Rom album. I'd love to induct, who we've met a few times at the Sydney shows, Jai Smith.
Oh, Jai Smith.
He's come down to visit me at the studio talking business.
Oh, very nice.
He's a businessman. I'm a businessman.
Well, okay, mate.
Well, let me talk it up a little.
I've seen you wear a shirt like twice.
Oh, yeah, I need to wear a shirt. I'm a businessman. I'm a big businessman on my shirt. Come on, Bob. It's got to be more to it than that.
I don't know what just happened.
they're the only two inductions. We'll have a few more to put in next week, though, by the look of it. So thank you, Alex Bachet and Jai Smith, two fantastic new members of the Triptych Club. Dave, if you could put them on your fridge.
Oh, absolutely. You're going straight underneath the magnet from Cuba. There you go.
Fantastic. Now you can outro the show.
Thank you to everybody who listens to the show, supports the show, gets in contact with the show at DoGoOnPod on nearly every social media.
We're not on TikTok because we're too old for that.
Or MySpace, even though we are old enough for that.
We're definitely old enough for MySpace.
I saw a great TikTok today where it was put up by one of the NFL teams where they did a split screen where they took someone taking a ball in a gridiron game and then a woman dancing. But they split it so it looked like when the woman moved her hips, the ball came out of her butt. And I enjoyed
How
it
many
quite-
times
I
did you
watched
watch
it a lot.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That was funny.
it's good
I mean,
stuff.
you haven't even seen it, and what joy it's brought.
Ah.
I think it was the New York Giants. Look them up.
Put up on TikTok.
Doing great work on TikTok.
I don't get TikTok, but I hope you're having a good time.
Having a good time out there. And you can go to our website, dogoonpod.com, basically for links for everything, including the Patreon that we mentioned. But until next week, we'll say thank you very much. And until then, we'll say goodbye.
Later.
Bye!
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates. I mean, if you want. It's up to you.